That conversation about connection starts today. We wanted to begin by getting at the real heart of what connection looks like in your real relationships. My next guest says all humans want to have those meaningful connections, but we aren't always maybe honest with ourselves about what it takes. Studio 5 contributor Dr. Liz Hale is laying out 5 truths about real connection. So as we look at that word, Liz, and I know you're excited about this theme as well, along with all of us, as we look at that word connected, maybe the opposite of that would be lonely, and that word carries, I think, a big burden in and of itself. What are the effects of loneliness?
It is a tremendous impact. And you know that loneliness has been attributed to earlier deaths more than obesity, smoking, and excessive alcohol use. It is that powerful. There's 2 basic human needs that we have, and if we don't have them, we suffer, and that is love and connection. Without those, we are terribly, terribly lonely.
And it's interesting, it's always interesting to me when what's happening inside the body, the mind, the heart is reflected on the exterior, right? With those physical effects that you touched on.
Yes, our body will let us know. That's right.
So these truths about connection, these truths about belonging, they can help us maybe center our goal and our pursuit of this connectivity and of this meaning. So this first truth we need to embrace is that we do care what people think. And that's opposite of what you know, we think we should put up these walls and say, I don't care what anyone says about me.
We do. That's a really good word, is walls. I don't care what anyone thinks. You can just hear the defensiveness, right? The posturing of it. But when I stop caring, I stop losing the ability to connect with you and that capacity. And sometimes we do need to clarify things, right? I do care what you think. I need to know if we have a misunderstanding. What is unhealthy, however, is when I let that define me. Then I become paralyzed, right, by vulnerability.
Sure.
I need to have that confidence to say, this is really who I am. So it's not changing who we are, it's being who we are that helps us connect and be vulnerable.
I love that. And being willing, though, to open up that dialogue about what perceptions may be in hopes of forming a stronger connection. I like that distinction. You touched on vulnerability. We hear a lot about that. And that ties into the second truth, that we need to selectively share our shame.
Yeah, isn't that a cool thing? Shame is highly correlated with depression, and it can't exist when it's unspoken. So when we can share it, it's like, it loses its power. So when I can find that one safe person, that wise person, and I can say, here's what happened. I was on Studio 5 and blah, blah, blah. It didn't go so well. And someone can say, yeah, you know, that wasn't your best time. And, you know, I've been there. I get it. It's hard. And I know you'll do it again, kind of thing. You know, you'll get back at it next month. So it's just being able to share that. Have you seen a YouTube video? It's just classic for this on vulnerability. It's called It's Not About the Nail. It's
Should we take
so
a look?
fun. I laugh out loud every time I see it.
I do too. I love this. Here it is.
There's this achy, I don't know what it is. And I'm not sleeping very well at all. And all my sweaters are snagged. I mean, all of them.
That sounds really hard.
It is. Thank you.
Ow!
Oh, come on. If you would just...
I could watch that again and again.
That's so funny. She says, it is not about the nail. Don't even mention the nail.
Yeah.
And it is so true, isn't it? It's so easy to do that, too, is connecting. It's like, gosh, it was so obvious. If you just do this, Liz, you'd be happier. But we all just want to be heard. And we usually come with our own resolution that, okay, maybe I'll take the nail out.
But saying it takes away that power. I do like that
we just want someone to connect with us. Yes, and understand.
I like the word selectively share your shame. I think it's so easy in this day of social media to throw open the doors and put too much out there. So to find that trusted person or that wise individual who can be your bounce back or your listen back.
That is key. Indeed.
All right, truth number 3, guilt is healthy.
So guilt is healthy, shame is not, however. They did a really interesting study following 5th graders all the way through high school. And they looked at their languaging around shame and guilt. So remember, guilt is I did bad, shame is I am bad, right?
Okay.
And those that had more guilty languaging, they graduated from high school more often. And they completed college applications more often.
This is interesting.
And they didn't use drugs and alcohol. Well, those who had shame, they had a higher suicide rate, sadly, higher dropout rate, and they didn't have plans for college and didn't make those plans, and had higher drug and alcohol use. So it's fascinating. So guilt is appropriate, you know? I do things, I make mistakes, I'm guilty, I need to repair them. That makes me go and say, oh, Brooke, you know, I really blew it the other day. I did X, Y, Z, and I am so sorry. I sincerely apologize.
But not the shame where inherently I'm saying I'm bad or I'm a mistake or I messed, right?
Yeah, the shame keeps us in secret, right? It keeps us disconnected.
And guilt can put it out there. I think that's so fascinating. The next truth to real connection, joy can feel risky.
Yeah, isn't that true though? Have you ever noticed just a really fabulous day where everything's going well, and then all of a sudden it's like screech the brakes. It's like, oh, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, or something terrible will happen. Don't get too confident. Don't get too happy, because something bad's going to happen. So we need to get more comfortable with just being vulnerable and just being in that moment. You know, which leads us to the next one, which is gratitude. There is no joy without gratitude. So it goes to say, you count your blessings and you have more blessings to count. So every day, find the things that are really good. Sometimes we're so busy looking for the extraordinary, we forget to be grateful for just the ordinary. Like sitting here with you, I'm so grateful. You know, just being here alive today, finding just the simple things.
This is a great foundation for what I hope will be a great conversation over the next season. Thank you for teeing it up for us, Liz.
Well done.
We appreciate it.
Studio 5.
We thank you.